Yeah, this is disciple Marchello Currence. This is part 5 of a message on psychics and telepaths. So we covered basically this the telepaths in America, psychics in America particularly, are that's where this message is progressing to the psychics and telepaths specifically here in America. But we covered that it's not a gift from God. We covered that it's a gift that was groomed by Satan at young ages. Their spirits all in the spiritual world. And Satan grooms his people too to be used. So that people don't come. One reason I believe is that people won't come to God for answers and God's people. You know, they'll go to the wrong sources and everything. So these people have been groomed with this gift that is mutated. And like I said in the other videos, God is not going to give a gift to someone to read minds. That's too much power for human beings to have because they're not pure enough to handle human beings. The closest type of person that God gives information to concerning human beings are prophetess and prophets. You know, these are the people that God gives information concerning people. And they're very trustworthy. And even then, it's not thought for thought. It's not their thought. He's telling them every thought. So this is a mind raping breed of people going around raping people's minds. Just think about that. Would you want somebody mind raping your child? You would want those people dead. Period. Period. You find out somebody was in the head of your child, you want them dead. Period. Case closed. So that's what I believe God is doing. God is looking at it, seeing his children, and saying, enough is enough. We're gonna go ahead and shut down this country. The karma computer has already brought in all the injustices, all the things that's been done, the tangible things that's been done. Because what people don't understand, people say, well, this is not an action. Well, maybe in the natural world it's not an action, but in this world it is an action. In the spiritual world it is an action because they're using their spiritual mutated gift to astral project into people's atmosphere. That's an activity. That's not, oh, I'm not doing anything. You are doing something. That's beyond a thought. That's an activity. Let me say that again. When telepaths and psychics are astral projecting mentally, I would say, into someone's mind or mind reading or using telepathy, that's not a thought, that's an action. Those actions go into the karma computer, if you will, and it brings back the necessary judgments. That's what happens. So when these things happen, don't think it's strange. Don't think it's strange because these things are happening to these people because of the energy they put out. They put out this energy. They put out these things that they did. And they're getting it all back. See, that's the problem. That's what it is. So all these things that they're putting out, all the things that they're doing, excuse me, all these things that they're putting out and doing into the atmosphere is going into the karma computer. So as it's going out into the karma computer, it's bringing back complete judgment on this country. America thought they could use telepaths, psychics, witches, and warlocks, all this little fun little game to destroy people, to make them kill themselves, to gang and oh, let me type on this. Gang stalking. Using gang stalking. They thought they could do all of this and there would be no repercussions and the person would quietly die. And it's not happening. Now they're scrambling as far as the telepaths and psychics in America. There's a great war that's going on that the American government, the American community, particularly the black community, the American government, the police, those three for sure. Black community, police community, and the American government. Those three communities are using the psychics, the telepaths, the witches, and the warlocks. Yeah, and that's a fact. You know, and what they do is they try to mentally harass these people over and over again. So they try to mentally harass these people, hoping that they don't understand it and want to die. But the more you understand it, is the more you have freedom. It's like the truth setting you free. Now your mind wraps itself around what's going on, and you know what's going on now. Now, with the telepathy and the psychic powers, all of this becomes a form of gang stalking, which you should look up on your also. The gang stalking, I'm gonna do teachings on that too. I'm gonna do some videos on that. But that's in essence basically what is going on with these, what I call like psychic telepathic Mario go-kart people driving by in their cars, using their trucks, using the police cars. All of this is gang stalking. So they're using this as a tactic to, the objective is that the person, suicide is the objective for most of the people that they're doing it against. See, once you know it, now you're thinking, okay, now you're aware, so you're not going to get depressed. You're not going to get, you know what's going on. At the same time, when you belong to God, this is going into the karma computer. And that's why they mad, because it's all coming back. That's why all this COVID-19, you got the different variants, you got the different strains of COVID-19. It's not going away. It's not nowhere near going away at all. It's not going away. It's not going away at all. So, for people to understand what's going on, some people will never understand the real wars that's going on in their country. Whether they be Christians, they could be even prophets. They can even be telepaths and psychics. Because remember, they've been around for a long time and they're not doing anything. They're not creating anything. They're not creating a better world. They're not totally successful. If they were, then everyone and their mother would be going to them. So there's obviously some type of inaccuracies and flaws and things like that. But the biggest thing is they don't have the power to create. They don't have the power to create outcomes. They can only look and try to read and try to see what's going on, but they can't create success for you necessarily. None of them can. If they could, then they would be a $1 billion industry. If they could create success and tell you everything you need to know, that's telepath, psychics, witches, and warlocks. If they could do all that, if they could do the full capacity of how they present themselves, of being capable of doing, how they present themselves of being capable of doing their abilities, if they had that the full excellence of that ability, then they would be, like I said, a $1 billion industry. But they're not. They're not able to create. See, prophets, God's true people, we can create we can create destruction. We can create blessings. You can look in the Bible and it's things that prophets have said and done. That God did not say that he didn't say to them that he wanted to do it. They spoke it and it happened. Just like Elisha. Elisha killing the kids. Not Elijah, Elisha. Elisha killed 42 kids. And God didn't say, well, they're picking on my prophet. Let me kill them. That wasn't the case. Elisha sent out words concerning the kids and they died. That's the power to create. Yeah. So just imagine what God is going to do to these grown people that's playing games. If that happened to kids and God honored that, what do you think He's going to do to grown people? Musty, nasty, grown, filthy people. Big, wasteful, tired people. They're going to be destroyed. And so that's why you have all this going on. It's the karma computer. I can't stress this enough. It's picking up on all the stuff the telepaths is doing, all the stuff the psychics are doing. They're not getting away with anything. It's all going to the karma computer, the database. And God's collecting it all. And it's all coming back down in the form of His wrath. It's the truth. That's why nobody can't make sense of why COVID is even here like this. America got out of control. They started doing things that they shouldn't be doing with psychics, telepaths, and witches and warlocks. They started doing things they shouldn't be doing. And they caused damnation to come on this whole country. It's irreversible. The only way it's reversible is if they go and do right by the people they did wrong by. And I don't know if they can cover everybody the way they should. You know what I mean? I don't think they can do it. You know, so that's why I believe all of this is happening. You know, they got out of control. They try to gangstar people. Even in your buildings where you're living at, they everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ignorant of them. They're everywhere. Telepaths and psychics, witches and warlocks, they're everywhere. Just, you can listen. If you're spiritual enough, if you really accelerated in your walk with God and grew in your walk with God, you can hear, you can see, you can hear and feel the movements of the enemy, who he's using. You can hear it and feel it, see it. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is they suffering. They suffering real bad for what they doing. Because God is not going to be mocked. The Bible says God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. It's out of our hands. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about America. This country has caused destruction on itself. And we can't do nothing about it. It's nothing me and you can do at this point. We've talked enough. We've prayed enough. We preached enough. We talked to the fools long enough. And we've seen it, quite frankly, go on long enough. It's now time for the payback, you know? And that's what God is doing, you know? So you need to start listening to these Christians that's going around off key, you know what I'm saying? Not in sync with what God is doing, because right now, only thing that's going on is judgment. In America, that's the only thing that's going on right now. I know God's still gonna bless His people and all this and that. But when you talk about the overall world, when you lift up beyond individual prophecies, and you're talking about the overall country of America, it's nothing but judgment going on. America has become a cautionary tale. That's all. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is locked in history as cities that brought judgment, that suffered judgment. That's what America is becoming. A city, a country that is suffering judgment. And it's more than just one sin. It's more than just one type of thing. It's not just one type of transgression, if you will. Sin, it's many various different things. With death, killing each other being at the top. Everyone else want to talk about all these different things that's going on. I'm looking at death at the top of the list. These kids being killed, no matter how we feel about them, no matter how we navigate among them, whether we want to deal with the kids or we don't, the reality and factual reality is that this is the reason why this country is dying. You can't kill kids like that physically for no reason. Not like Elijah, because they were doing something. Because they was engaged in some type of warfare against the man of God. No. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. They are going out with no reason. The kids ain't doing nothing to them. The kids ain't being used against them. And they're going out and killing kids. That's a whole different scenario. You can't compare Elijah to